There
There we
we
go.
go.
All right.
Ta-da. It's awesome.
That works. Now, how do I change the video so I can see you? Okay, cool.
All good?
Yep.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Just living the life.
Yeah, yeah. So happy to have you on here. I was talking to people today, and someone said something to me that completely blew my mind. That we were talking about this match, and the person said, Devon, the crazy thing is that 80% of today's fans don't know who John Brzenk is. And I said, that's completely ridiculous. I said that is impossible. But on the off chance that anybody watching this doesn't know, we're lucky today to have the greatest of all time, John Brzenk, on the channel here with us today.
I appreciate that.
I feel like you have, been the dude for generations of us in the arm wrestling community. You're kind of the guy who built this legend of strength that this sport, can show people. You are the father of modern arm wrestling. So
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's been a long journey for sure. I think back, and yeah, you're right. I mean, I've got the generations. I can think back 2, 3, 4 generations that have come and gone.
yeah.
Throughout the years. Like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, that was a different group of arm wrestlers that were that I used to compete against. So I don't know, they're either retired or dead or. Yeah, no, it's
How
been a long
old are
journey.
you now, John?
I'll be 57 here in 2 days. What's today? The 12th or 13th? Yeah, 2 days.
That's awesome. Okay, so
So hang in
everybody,
there.
I'm putting John's links down below in the description, so make sure in a couple of days go flood his inbox with happy birthday wishes.
All right. Oh yeah, that's that time of year again, isn't it? Oh God.
So what have you gotten yourself into?
I don't know. I just had a little free time today, and I just happened to go on Facebook, and I was marked to have this thing come up about Chance Shaw, and I knew about Chance because he's contacted me. Shoot, I think it's probably been about 5, 6 months ago in January. He wanted to come out and start practicing and pulling with me, and I said, geez, Chance. I mean, I haven't been even arm wrestling is not even on my mind. I haven't been doing anything. With the COVID thing and the top 8 canceling last year, I've been just lazy and just drinking beer and just taking it easy. And then come April, he asked me again, "Oh, you're going to be out at Arizona State? So I want a super match with you at Arizona State." I'm like, dude, I'm still in the same state when you asked me to come out in January. I just haven't been doing anything. I mean, I feel like I'd be just setting myself up for disaster. And then, then Igor kind of lit a fire on me about 5, 6 weeks ago, scared me into thinking that I was going to pull my first round top 8 match in the end of July in Moscow. So I'm like, holy crap. No, I'm not ready. I haven't been arm wrestling, haven't been doing anything, but I'll, start practicing again. And because of COVID, I guess Russia is still a little bit tough to get into. So they weren't allowing any visas. So I thought, okay, well, I'm either washed up and I need to stay retired, or I need to continue to keep arm wrestling and focusing on this David Datacon in October, November now, whatever. I don't know exactly if they even have it nailed down yet, but I just need to know. I mean, my brain thinks I'm still an arm wrestler. And when I do dabble in it, I feel like I'm, a contender. I can still hang with most of the guys. The funny thing is it's been forever since I've actually squared up and done a hard, ready, go hit. It's all been just practice, and, it's a little sore, it aches a little bit. So you just don't, my brain isn't moving like competitive speed. So I thought, Chance beat the guy that I trained with, Dustin Allen, the beginning of the year. I think it was January. So pretty handily, I struggle with Dustin. So I'm a little scared. Like, am I maybe out of my league or thinking that I have no chance? But I know I can step it up when it's a ready go, and that you can kind of forget all those aches and pains, hopefully anyway. But that's my mindset. I'm like, I either got to figure out I'm going to continue arm wrestler, or I just got to really officially tell Igor, hey, sorry it didn't work out, but I'm not pulling this top 8 thing. So Chance is going to be kind of my gauge for, like, do I even belong? So we'll see.
Well, yeah. Well, you certainly lit a fire all over the public side of things today.
Yeah. Once you hit that, once you push that button, you can't take it back, right? It's like, oh, fuck, now what did I do?
So this is your first match in, first real match in, geez, how long has it been? Like, is it?
Well,
Moldova?
I tried to pull Moldova. The first thing of Moldova was just a Travis show, and that wasn't me. I hadn't been pulling at all, and that was just weakness. But I think 2-3 months later, I actually started trying to pull and get in shape, and Moldova was probably the first time that I was a ready go in competition, and that was pretty quick tournament. That really wasn't. I really can't consider that because I only pulled 3 guys there. But
I felt like that was still kind of like a bit of a whim, though. Like I feel
it was. Yeah, it was only like 2 months or 3 months later after the first one they had, and the money was so good that I was just like, I can't ignore that. I mean, I'm, Travis, you would give me crap like, you've taken ass whoopings for a lot less. Yeah, I guess you're right. So sign me up. I'll fly out there. What the hell? And I actually surprised myself. I ended up taking third, so I ended up beating a couple guys. So didn't feel too bad. I was like, I'm still, competitive.
Yeah, you did well that way. You were just out in Romania. It was Amaric you were pulling, right?
The national team. Oh, I don't even know that guy very well. I've seen his name on the internet a few times, but I didn't really put 2 and 2 together. He's from France, right?
Yeah, he's the national champ. He's really good.
We didn't really pull right-handed. I don't think we pulled right-handed. I think we squared up left-handed, and he's tough. I couldn't, and I shouldn't say I couldn't budge him, but it was pretty good little stalemate.
I thought you looked good, and I've pulled him before, and I know he's very strong. Yeah. So that was impressive to see. You pulling with him, and then here we are.
Yeah, but I've kind of gone along with at the last couple of years. I've never been that great left-handed, so I've really pretty much ignored it. And after Vegas in 2015, when my shoulder went, I thought, okay, that's it. I mean, I got to have one good arm. I can't be messing up the left arm. And, I've struggled with it. So I pretty much ignored it. So it's like your arm. It's a party arm. It's a fresh arm, but it's not really very strong. Right. It doesn't last very long. I got maybe 1-2 good matches in it, and then it fades
now,
real
you've
fast.
been doing that way longer than I have. Like, I used to train them both. Right. And it's just the last kind of 2 years or so that I've started to do this.
Yeah.
Now, did you do that on purpose, or?
I think it was just out of laziness. I didn't want to put the time in left-handed. I was so focused and concentrating on always building and working in the brain and the arm on the right side that I didn't want to confuse it and mess it up, or just being lazy, I guess, to even mess with the left. Because the first 10, 15 years of my life, I mean, left arm was a sideshow. I mean, it was something that they did at lunchtime and halftime break. There was never any money. Nobody respected it. Not until the Russians came in the 90s that it actually became something that, people actually looked to. Yeah.
Well, WAL kind of brought that back a little bit when they started to just kind of do the right arm class. So it's almost like it's gone full circle almost.
Yeah. You don't want to muddy things up. That's the thing with the WAF too. They got so many weight classes. As a fan, you want to see the little guys bang with the big guys. So the less classes, the better. And less arms, the better. I think. It just, to me, it's makes it a little easier to be an organizer than trying to figure out how to run so many tables with hundreds of classes and weights and arms and disabled and this and that and the other.
I think I can safely say that all eyes will be on one match on the 31st.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It should be interesting. I expect it to go pretty easy one way or the other. I mean, if his hand and cup and back pressure is stronger than mine to take my arm out of position, I see that he definitely is big enough and strong enough that I don't have much fight in me when that happens, that it's going to be pretty decisive one way or the other. The good thing is that my ability, my strength, the thing that I still have left is that, and I think I can combat exactly what he does. Whether or not it'll depend a lot on how much fight he has in his arm as far as being able to. But if I get that kind of an advantage, I don't see him holding me up either. So I think it'll be pretty decisive just based on the hand wrist.
So you are competing this Saturday as well, right?
Well, I was going up to watch the grandkids, and last week I decided I was going to try to find a practice, and it happened to be at this bar. And at first I actually heard about it. You would think some of my friends up in Utah would have wrote me and said, "Hey, there's a small tournament, and there's a little bit of money." But Justin Green, when I was at practice, like, "Yeah, no, we're running the same, this tournament next weekend." I'm like, or 2 weekends. And then I'm like, that weekends I'm actually supposed to come up and babysit the grandkids. And Roy, Utah is like 10 minutes from where I'm at. So I'm like, I'm going to show up. I'll put myself in a position where I'm actually pulling for money and some ready goes, and see how it turns out.
That's awesome. So this is going to be your first tournament again in quite a bit. I imagine a lot of people are going to be watching that. That's the same one that Craig and Dallas are pulling at.
Yeah, Craig and Dallas. Yeah. So hopefully it's not going to be too hot. When I was out there last weekend, it was, Arizona is always hot, but it was 100 degrees. I was like, it's not normal for Utah, but hopefully it'll be a nice day.
Cross the border, come up here sometime, John. We'll take care of you. You don't have to worry too much about the heat.
Super cool. But anyway, yeah.
So it's super interesting. Like, to me, Chance is this young stud, very confident for a good reason. Like I pulled him last year, just kind of at a practice, and he was really impressive. And this was when he was getting ready to pull Ron Bath. And
okay.
Yeah, he had Ron Bath in mind, and he was getting ready and he was training. And he asked me, he's like, "What do you think?" And I'm like, "Ron's gonna kill you. I'm sorry." That's at that time, that's the way I saw it. I was like, Ron's
he's got good containment. Ron's got good, strong wrist flexion.
Yeah, and even if you take his wrist, I mean, Ron can get in
still
there.
Right.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't think so. But I'll tell you, that's all changed over the last 6 months. Like,
I know.
Yeah.
300 pounder.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've gripped up someone that big, but normally heavyweight size guys don't bother me too much with my hand. It'll be fun. It'll be interesting. I think back when I was his age, you had no fear. I mean, when you're climbing the ladder, I mean, there's nothing to lose. You just want to keep climbing higher and higher and higher. You're not worried about falling anywhere. So I know what he's going through and what he's feeling and what he wants to do. So hopefully I won't hurt his feelings too much.
I love it. Hey, I'm so excited. I know that everybody is so excited. Everybody is so happy to see you come back to pull this dude who's really hot at the moment. It's a beautiful match. But before I let you go, I wanted to ask you just a couple more questions.
Right.
You've been around so long, like I said earlier, I mean, generations. What do you think, general advice to the arm wrestling community? I mean, you've seen kind of the phases of the way people train, the culture. What would you say to guys, like new guys who've been pulling a while?
Same thing that I've said probably the last 20 years. I mean, for me, the motivation, the dedication, the fun of the sport was getting together at practices. So, I mean, I always say, just, you gotta, even if you can't find anybody to pull, people always tell me, "Oh, I don't have nobody to pull around." No, then what do I do? Well, you got to go find somebody to pull. You need to go and recruit and motivate and cultivate. To me, arm wrestling is just like, fighting. I mean, you have to have a good variety of different sizes and different arms and abilities and strengths, and you need to bang and just arm wrestle hard, consistently, at least once a week, twice a week. And like I said, that's always been the fun thing for me. So why not do that? I mean, course, I don't know. I can't argue, I guess, with the, some of the theories of, the getting stronger. Hutchins is East Coast barbell or whatever. But to me, that stuff, at an early age, I tried to do some weightlifting. And I always tell the story that 1 year I competed in the AWI, basically same weight, and I could barely bench press 200 pounds. And I worked my ass off for a year, try to bulk up and get bigger and stronger. And I basically doubled my bench. I was 400 pounds, and all my lifts were way double. And my arm wrestling was pretty much exactly the same.
Yeah.
My ability was exactly the same as arm wrestling. So I was like, my God, I just feel bigger and puffier, and just, the mechanics just weren't there. I almost somewhat felt like I was false, overconfident, like, oh, I'm bigger now, I'm stronger now. And that would mess with me and maybe slow me down a little bit. And or if I went in there and just strictly arm wrestling, my mindset was, man, I need to get out of the blocks fast. I cannot let this guy just even stop me or slow me down, because I'm so out of shape. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just different, I guess.
No, I think you're right. And that's been the message consistently from you basically forever, that if you want to get better at arm wrestling, you must arm wrestle. And it's interesting. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. It's such a uncomfortable thing that you have to get used to, all the different positions. If just getting strong with weights, even just trying to simulate the moves, just are not the same feeling. I mean, I don't know. I just never feel comfortable. Sometimes I even feel less comfortable when I'm lifting than when I get on the table. I'm thinking, okay, well, that doesn't feel quite right. Or I ended up putting myself or trying to flex that muscle that I normally would never flex. I mean, so to me, just getting that rigid, comfortable, feel mentally with the repetition of arm wrestling has always been, the key to my success. So what I feel good about when I go into matches. It's funny, lifting too. You like, a lot of times you lift, and with arm wrestling, as you know, it's more about breathing and relaxing in the holds and shifting gears and moving the muscles and changing it up a little bit so that lactic acid doesn't build up. And weightlifters, they can fall to that doom real quick.
Now, what about the specific arm wrestling lift? So like, I understand, like when you talk about lifting, there's a lot of different types of lifting. And I find like the modern generation of arm wrestlers, like we're doing all these like, very close. And I agree with you. Like I went through a lot of periods in my career when I focused a lot on lifts that I thought were very translatable. But as I've gone along, I've come to realize that a lot of the ones that I thought were good, I think actually hurt me. And I've tried to kind of dial it down in intensity and just view it more as rehab. But I do think that there's some lifts that are beneficial. Have you ever messed around with any of the really specifics?
Well, my thought on that is, if my hand and wrist were strong enough to take my opponent out of position, I always, for the most part, had plenty of strength to finish anybody at any size. So
right,
a lot of that other extra strength is just unneeded. I mean, as long as my hand and wrist and forearm, of course, the elbow joints, that goes without saying. That's, but that was in the early years to build that up. As long as that hand's super strong. I mean, look at Oleg. I mean, he's got a twig.
All you need.
Twig, shoulder, head. He's got that hand form, and can manipulate your opponent. The ratio of having that offensive position with that dominance of the hand and wrist, it so overweighs what anybody could bring to the table. Unless you're, Dennis, where you're just ridiculously strong. But and even at that, I mean, you can put them in a position where you're going to bleed them enough where they're going to come down to your level. So
yeah, maybe not his left, but
no, yeah. Well, he's not the same guy, but he's gotten Yeah, his left was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was. But so nothing, you did nothing just to strengthen those parts.
I always knew that my hand was the most important. So I would do just cardio, squeezers. I mean, if I had it, if I wasn't so cheap and I'd go buy a cable machine. I used to have one of them free motion cable machines that would ratchet down all the different angles, and I would do basic shoulder, lat, pull. Everything is pulling down, pulling to my body, pulling down. I mean, any angle you can think of, pulling down with that pressure on your hand is, to me, that's the key. That's the move. In that cupping in that hand. But to take it one step further, this is the one that's really difficult to simulate on a machine, is the cup along with the roll. I mean, it's a tricky combination, and unless you're arm wrestling another arm, it's really hard to figure that combination out correctly.
Yeah. It's very hard to replicate for sure. So Daddy Can, top 8, PAL, like it's all up in the air, right?
Yeah. So I tried to contact him day before yesterday, just to find out, hey, we even have a venue or a date, or what's going on? Are we continuing to do, like, we talked about having the, first round with everybody showing up, and I think it's kind of shifted into now having just kind of one-off super matches and trying to piece them together. And who knows how long this will go. If my match isn't until end of October, November, and I'm the first one, are we talking next year now before we get into round 2 and round 3? I mean, so that's, it's kind of messing with me. Like, am I doing this or am I not doing this? I mean,
well, there was one match that I feel that we never really got to see. Not that again. There's one, the match that I'm talking about. There's one match, and I actually brought it up because I was told that you were talking to the guys in Dubai. That's what they told me, and I was like, oh my God.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about now. Yeah. I heard from Neil that that he heard from you and heard from Larry. I'm like, no one's talked to me about any kind of match.
So strange.
Next thing I know, I see Vovoda's posting on his Instagram.
Yeah. Well, because I was told that you were talking to the guys from Dubai, and I forget even how I heard that.
Yeah, that's a negative.
Okay. Well, anyways. These guys are great. They're a great promotion. And wow.
Yeah, that's kind of the reason I agreed to top 8. I was like, I kind of want to go to Dubai. And if they could do a top 8 in Dubai, I mean, I'm all down for that. And, especially if the whole group's there, I thought, this will be fun. I mean, I'll have a good time, win, lose, or whatever. But I'm up to do something. I don't know. Maybe I have to get Taurus out of retirement or something. I'm not sure if I can bang the new young up and comers, but I mean, I think I can hold my own. But it's
well, there's a lot of great matches out there for you. And I don't know if you follow Alexi, but he still looks super fit.
Oh, like he's a natural. I mean, he's just a natural freak. complete Russian strength prodigy. Like the dude is an athletic marvel. And I bet he'd do it. I bet he would. And the world would go crazy. The world would go crazy. If that match could happen, the world would go insane over it. Right. I was up for it. I was like, if they wanted it to happen, I would do it. I mean, I don't know how serious I would take it. I'm not sure how serious he would take it. I mean, there's really nothing. I mean, the two old guys 20 years later rematch.
No.
That's a plaque or
that is a legacy match if there ever was. And look, I feel like the problem is when you got guys like Alexi, guys like you, it doesn't matter. I mean, once you've touched that peak, and everybody's always gonna come they're gonna come their very best.
Right. Like we can throw Travis in to have a pulling John too.
Right. Do it all over again. Let's reshoot that whole movie. Call up Savan and Yeah.
I'd love to.
Yeah. Well,
thanks, Savan. Yeah.
You know what? I'll tell the guys to ping you.
Yeah, right.
You got to reach out to those guys. I guess maybe one last thing, and this is kind of because so there's a lot of arm wrestling that goes on in this house. My boys, my daughter, I mean, we all kind of do it just a little bit. Nothing's crazy. My middle boy, so last year, he was 15, he broke his arm.
Oh,
yeah.
Upper elbow, what?
He
Elbow.
pulled. Yeah,
that's exactly what I did at 13 years old.
And that's what I told him.
That dude's gonna get really strong. He's gonna have a stable ass.
Yeah. I said, Auden, I'm like, John Brzenk did the same thing. I'm like, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be all right.
Yeah, no, they didn't have to do any surgery or screw it down or do anything
they
with
actually
it. Just
they said they didn't have to. But they said for best results, if we go in and screw it, pin it, it'll be perfect, and then take the pin out. So went in, pinned it, and then he had about 3 or 4 months later, we got the pin out. So gotcha. I feel like that's really good. Yeah. It was like I don't know, maybe it was worse than yours. It shifted a little bit, like the bone shift. Yeah. So
yeah, mine looked like it was a.
Is it called an avulsion break?
Did I lose you? Oh, yeah. I don't even know. It's been such a long time ago. I don't even know. It was just a golfer's elbow, and it basically cracked. Basically, the forearm muscle just cracked that away from the inner part of the elbow. That's
exactly what happened to Auden. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll show this to my boy, and I'll be like, "There's hope for you."
Yeah, he'll be okay. Yeah, I didn't require any pinning or screws or surgery. In fact, I didn't go to the doctor until about 3 days later. My arm was like this. I'm like, Dad, I can't straighten my arm. I don't know what the hell's going on. And of course, it made like a gunshot, pow, when it happened. So I should have known something was wrong, but it didn't. There was no pain or anything. I was like, well, what the hell? What happened? And they just put me in a cast, and 6 weeks later, I came out and I rested for 2 or 3 years before I started arm wrestling again, but because I was only 13 years old. But yeah, I try to warn people when they ask about how young can my kids arm wrestle. Well, Robert Baxter's daughter did the same thing. Alexi Baxter, 13 years old, great arm wrestler. No, that's his
older
niece.
one?
Yeah, no, that's his niece.
Right.
Yeah. Walker. But yeah. So yeah, he'll heal for sure.
Good. Well, John, it's been a treat having you on here. Really, truly, I wish you all the best. I hope that you crush this dude. I really do. I hope that you smash him. I hope that you continue to prove that you can do this sport forever. Like, I hope that you crush him. I hope that you crush Alexi, and then just all right,
continue on. We'll see. Yeah, the reflex, the speed, the nervous system, it's not there, but yeah, you try to do what you can and compensate. But yeah,
how long I'm excited. Do you think a guy can go on? Seriously, like, how long can you do it?
I think as we get older, our strengths just shift. I mean, obviously you can continue to do it until you're 70, 80 if you want to, if you're Norm Devio or whoever. I mean, as long as your goals are within, normal range and reason. There's no reason why you can't continue forever. I mean, I don't think it's, harmful. It's a good, healthy, to me, activity. I mean, the reason to get together and stay in shape and watch your weight and hang out with the guys and pull. So, I mean, it's a good, healthy sport.
How old do you think that a super heavyweight champion of the world could be?
How old a super heavyweight champion of the world could be?
How old could that
in today's day and age? I mean, the monsters that are coming, I mean, I've seen this now for the last 15, 20 years. I mean, they're short-lived monsters, but it seems like the 20-year-olds and to 30, they're thinking about, I don't know if their heads are getting messed up or what, but they're in and out of the sport pretty quick. So I don't suspect that us old guys are going to have much of a chance in our 40s and 50s.
Like,
because people are just so hungry to get that, you know, pinnacle, and we're gonna do whatever it takes.
like, do you think an old guy could beat Levon? Like, if somebody told you, if somebody said, John Brzenk, in 2 years you are going to die, you're dead in 2 years.
Right.
2 years,
I like this question.
You're gonna die. So on the day before you die, okay, so from now until then,
right,
you're to face Levon.
Right.
So all in.
Yeah.
In. You think
I'm not that knowledgeable about all in and what it would take and what kind of commitment, even if it was to kill me, if to know how much stronger and better I could possibly be at my old age, let alone in my 30s and 40s. I mean, so yeah, no, it's tough. I have no way of knowing where my ceiling is. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to answer that.
Do you ever?
I don't even know how strong Levon is. I mean, I think people get so. I mean, obviously he's proven himself, but I mean, I've throughout the years I've been up against or seen guys that seemingly on the surface look like there's no way you could beat that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, so you know, is Levon like lightning fast? Is he fast and athletic like Alexi is? No, he's just a freaking monster. But I mean, I know it's difficult to control monsters that big, but I mean, you're equipped. You're big enough. You're long and lanky enough that me.
Well, I'm
maybe
not.
I'm
going to try. I'm going to try, but I don't know.
I mean, I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you could control that. So
I'm gonna try my hardest. Like, I'm probably gonna. Well, we'll see. Hopefully this winter I arm wrestle him. But when I look at him, I see a really serious dude. And it's interesting because, you know, when we talk about the culture of arm wrestling, he really is a modern champion to me. Like, obviously the guy arm wrestles a ton.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people talk about his technique and, you know, give varying answers, but I've never watched him and been like, oh, his technique's terrible. I've never thought that.
Right.
I've seen him do things like hold on to Angarbayev, you know, and maybe look a bit sloppy, but I mean, he's winning, you know, whatever.
Right. You know, I think his because of his size and his hand, I think his weakness will be his side pressure. And if you are brave enough and can control that lower part of his arm to make the battle be about the side pressures, I think there might be. I mean, the guys that have given him a hard time lose their hand pretty much and are still fighters with the side pressure. And even in bad positions, So, I mean, if you can be the guy that actually grabs a little low and I can actually force that wrist to wrist, which I know you can do. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he's been tested side pressure wise. I categorize him with like someone like Cleve Dean. Just impossible to arm wrestle up straight, grab on the hand, you know, a straight up regular fair arm wrestling match. You had to come up with some shit to get around that just massive size. But once you did, he was a normal dude. I mean, the side pressure wide, he was a normal guy. So I would hope that Levon is going to fall in that category and be someone that is possibly beatable when he has to actually use his arm instead of that massive hand and that massive size.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's these lifts. It's the lifts that get published. The lift, you know, I don't know if you've seen the lift.
I don't, but I mean, lifts don't mean anything to me. I mean, I know I've seen what Saplenkov has lifted. I mean, he's got the world record curl. Those things don't matter.
Yeah, curl doesn't matter as much, but I feel like there's a difference. Even like a curl is nice. Like if somebody said, hey, Devon, do you want to curl 100 more pounds? I'd be like, yeah, sure, that'd be great. But there's a difference between a curl and a wrist curl.
Crunch, right.
Yeah. And when you're crunching stupid numbers, and this is, the pronation, like you probably didn't see it, but
and you couple that with the size. That's the big thing. Yeah. The size is the thing.
Yeah. Anyways,
good luck.
You can see what's going through my mind. Hey, good luck with Chance.
I've got more confidence in yourself than you got confidence in yourself. I want to face the dude just to see,
Oh yeah, me too. I just, I'm deep in dreamland all the time about trying to find a way to, get crazy enough to do exactly what you said.
You've never had the opportunity. I always analyze and figured people out and built my confidence when the tournament was over, and I said, "Hey, come over here. Let's."
Oh no, I did that. Yeah. I did that. Yeah, in 2018, after I got totally thrashed by Dennis. I was, that wasn't the only time, but I went over and I felt his hand, and I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
Like,
okay.
What the
All
hell?
right. So you've got.
I touched him and I was like, Jesus. I'm like, this is serious. Very, very
okay.
Yeah. But hey, you never know. You never know.
Right. You never know.
Yeah. But John, hey, thank you so much for coming on. The whole arm wrestling world owes so much to you, and I hope you just keep on crushing it. So well, everybody tune in to Chance's channel, to Travis's channel, to watch John on the 31st. And all the best. All the best.
Same to you, Devon.
Hopefully I'll see you in Dubai.
That'd be cool. Maybe in Dubai.
Yeah.
All right. Talk to you later.